Hey, I'm Tina, a guitar player from Berlin, and today I want to talk about something very important, and I have the feeling really nobody's talking about it, and it's really a very small thing that you can change in your practice routine, very doable, and I really don't believe normally in things like change one thing and it will change everything, but I think in this case it's different, so I'd like to talk about that today. So I have a lot of students and I have a lot of very ambitious students, and I love it. My students come to me and they also give me so much inspiration, and sometimes if I'm down and not so inspired, my students inspired me, and that's, I guess, a really nice cycle. But one thing that I realize, especially with older students, like adults, is they come to me, they're often very stressed out and there's a lot of overwhelm going on. I'm a very anxious person at times as well. I can be also very overwhelmed, but I think one thing that everybody can really do is try to be aware of the fact how important it is how you start your practice routine. And by starting your practice routine, I mean really the first 5 minutes. So I made a lot of videos about practice plans, how you should set up your practice room, a lot of stuff about that. But what I really want to stress today is the way you start your practice session, because if you start your practice session in a stressed out way, then this stress level is probably going to be there through your entire practice session. Be it you're practicing for half an hour or 3 hours, but you set the mood. And also, which is worse, and there I want to warn you, is it's not only the guitar that you're practicing, but you're practicing your state of mind, how you're feeling. Are you tense while you're playing the guitar? I mean, I'm often very tense when I'm playing the guitar, but just, you know, to realize if that's the case, or if you're like experiencing any kind of pain, that all is natural and can happen. But maybe you can use the first 5 minutes of your practice routine to get settled in, so that you would be really in the room where you are. Please forget about the smartphone at least for 5 minutes, and be aware of the fact that if you're looking at your smartphone all day long and then you sit down with the guitar trying to focus, you're sort of destroying your brain in advance, and you can't expect your brain to focus very tightly if you're destroying it all day long. So be sure that you take time off from social media or the internet or digital diversions, looking at 1000 YouTube videos. But when you sit down, you want to be where you are and you want to listen. So you want to hear, how does your guitar sound and how does the sound come out of your amplifier? We need to make sure that we can listen, and we can do that by playing something very slow. And playing 60 notes at 70 beats per minute is not very slow. I'm talking about like playing whole notes at 40 beats per minute. Play something slow and let your ears and your mind get a little rest, and just try to hear how it sounds. I mean, music is sound, and if you can't hear what you're doing, how will you ever develop an ear? And you need to have that as a starting point. And I think it can really change your life and it can really also change your practice routine just by starting out very slow, very focused, and don't play anything that needs too many decisions. So we are making decisions all day long, right? Which YouTube video are we going to watch? Which guitar lesson? What are we going to practice? Also, while improvising, you're having to make a lot of choices. So the first 5 minutes of your practice day routine is not a good idea to start like this. It would be good to play a very simple exercise like the legato exercise, or maybe even read music, but play something where you don't have to make a choice about which note you're going to play next or what the rhythm is going to be, but just play a very simple exercise. It could be A minor pentatonic on the 5th fret, but just listen to how it sounds and listen to yourself and try to enjoy it. And then after 5 minutes, you can even set a timer for yourself. You can start playing or practicing whatever you want to. So you're setting the mood with those first 5 minutes, and if they're stressed out, then it's not a good way to start. And I always have to think about that phrase, pack your suitcase before you go on a journey the next day. And it's a little bit like this if you're trying to understand that too many decisions are also like really draining you of brain power, because you have to think about everything. Try to reduce that. You can start by focusing on something basic in the first 5 minutes, but also then it's a really good idea to have some sort of a plan laid out for you, also that you have your stuff in your place, that you don't have to run around in the apartment like I do and look for your pick all the time. Be sure that you separate practicing and playing, and also you're allowed to mindless fuddle on your guitar, but make sure that you put all those activities in different categories. So, end of the rant. Hope you're doing fine, and I see you around. Bye! So if you have been watching my videos for some while, and if you're curious about all the stuff that I'm doing in my life, don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter. There's always a new newsletter every Tuesday, sometimes every Wednesday. There's also a little guitar exercise and some of my thoughts about life in general. Sometimes I talk a little bit about Berlin. That's the city I'm living in. So if you're interested, the link is below in the description.